Hey guys, this is Alfred back in front of the video. Today I just want to talk about how to manage your artifacts and what is the best way to find out whether your artifact is good enough and whether to level it up. So for those who don't know, or those who have been playing this game for very long, you already know that farming artifacts is one of the worst experience in this game. The reason why is it's so RNG heavy. Sometimes you can get something you want really quick, and other times you're just not going to get anything for weeks, days, or even months. So that's why we need to be really efficient for choosing the right artifacts for our characters. In that case, today I'll show you guys how I do it and how I feel like this is the most reasonable and the best way to level up artifacts and choosing artifacts for your characters. Now, the artifact system comes with 3 different steps. So first of all, you need to choose an artifact for your character. Step 2 is you're supposed to level up the artifact, and step 3, we're going to compare the artifact with the ones we're using right now. In context for today's video, I will just be talking about the stats itself. I won't really be talking about the effects because everyone already knows the effects. So we're just going to talk about how to min-max your artifacts in terms of substats. So let's begin. So for the first step is choosing the right artifact. This step is very important. If you start step 2 without doing step 1, you may end up losing resources. So it's very important to know that you're supposed to go in step orders. So there are 3 types of artifact that you want to lock. So I have kind of a few locked artifacts right here. I'll just be going through my thought process when I lock in. So the first type of artifact you want to lock is an artifact with double crit. The reason being is any character can use double crit. So for example, this one right here, which I'm using for my coaching, is double crit. So I locked it. Let's click this one. This one as well is double crit. So I locked it. Immediately is an auto lock. Double crit. You can make any character DPS and you can just slot in a artifact with double crit. As you can see, I have plenty right here. I just lock it in and it's pretty good enough. The second artifact you want to lock is 1 crit with 3 desirable rolls. What do I mean? So desirable rolls are, for example, an artifact without any bad rolls. I guess that's a better way to put it, but yes, you just want an artifact like that. This is to minimize the amount of RNG in your artifact. So for example, the one I'm using on my child right now, child wants crit. He wants ER, he wants attack, preferably percent, but flat works as well. EM is pretty good, so he doesn't want HP, he doesn't want defense, all that nonsense. So this is a good example for it. You have 1 crit with 3 desirable rolls. Basically, whenever you roll the substat, you won't get a bad roll at all. Either be one of these 4, which is really good for child and what he wants. So the third type of artifacts that you want to lock or you want to keep for future purposes is niche artifacts. So let's say in the example, you want to build your Shunhe. So Shunhe only wants 2 types of sets. You want attack, so attack percent, attack flat, and you want ER. So these are the 3 things you want. Anything else you can completely discard. So for example, in this artifact, we already have the attack right here in the flower. We have attack percent and we have ER. So this artifact is already good on Shunhe. The other substats don't really matter. As long as you manage to hit these substats, you should be completely fine. So that's the third type of artifact, which is a niche one. Another example for a niche one, for example, Venti or building any enable characters, for example, Sucrose and Venti, as an Viridescent Venerer user, you want EM. So generally speaking, once the artifact has EM and ER, you should be good. This Sucrose artifact right here has EM, ER. Instantly use it. Venti one has EMER, instantly use. So these are niche artifacts. It doesn't need to be like the first 2, which has crit in it, but as long as it fulfills what the character needs and what the character wants, you can keep that artifact and lock it for future purposes. So before we hit step 2, we're gonna do something called decision state or the judgment state, whether this artifact is really worth rolling. So let me just find one real quick. So for example, this piece right here, it has crit rate, it has attack percent, it has EM. So now you're gonna ask yourself, is this gonna be a good artifact or not? We're going to be leveling up. So with this, we proceed with step 2, which is leveling up the artifact. So to level up, first of all, you're gonna come over here and you're gonna use your 3-star, your 1-star, your 2-star, and your 4-star materials to level up. So for example, we're gonna bring it to level 4 and we're gonna see what we're gonna get from this artifact. So boom, just click this. Okay, don't overspend. So don't press auto add once it's level 3. Just come over here and manually click it. Do not overspend your EXP, it's not worth it. You waste a lot more as well. So let's level it up. So right here, I got defense. Defense is not good. That means this artifact is not good at all and I won't keep, and I will use it as fodder for the next role. So for this artifact, it has 3 good rolls. It doesn't have crit. So if we get crit in this one, it will be good. So moving on from the previous artifact, remember I leveled up an artifact to level 4. So it's this one right here. So now that you determine that this artifact is no good, you can actually use it as fodder instead of using your 4-star and 3 stars. The reason why you don't want to use the 4-star or low rarity artifact is instead just use the 5-star. Yes, you're losing XP of the artifact. However, you don't lose that much. And number 2, it costs less or more. As you can see, this one takes 3780 to level up to level 4. Whereas if I use 3 level 4 artifacts, it takes 15,000 to only get to level 3. So this is why you want to have fodder like this. It's so much cheaper for Mora and it's so much more effective. So in this case, I got defense once again. Obviously, my artifact luck is pretty trash, so you can just throw this away as fodder as well. So you can just keep doing this process until you find an artifact you like, and then you can lock it. And then from there, you can create a new fodder to level up again, etc, etc. Just keep repeating the process until you find all the artifacts that you want to lock. Okay, so let's say you found an artifact you want to level up. So this is still continuing step 2. We're still leveling up an artifact. From there, you can use your 3-star and 4 stars artifact to level it up. Try not to use the level 4 fodder. The reason why you don't want to use it, you want to save it to level up those level 0 artifacts that has potential so that it costs lesser Mora. So try to just use the 3-star and 4-star. But once you level this up to level 20, let's say you determine it's not good. For example, I have a few artifacts right here that are level 20 that I don't like. You can use this. So there's 2 types of fodders. You have a level 4 fodder and a level 20 fodder. So the level 21 will really boost it up to level 18, and look at that, it just costs 3,780 Mora. So it's really worth, instead of using so many 4-star and 3-star artifacts, just use the level 20 fodder and we'll see what we get. HP, defense, and crit. Obviously, it's pretty shit. So this one, I probably wouldn't continue leveling up. I'll just leave it at level 18. It's really not worth it. So the next thing to note in this step 2 of leveling up the artifact is knowing when to stop leveling up the artifact. So in a artifact that starts with 4 substats, if you hit a bad roll twice, probably want to stop rolling. Unless you really need to build the character, then it doesn't matter. However, if you're just trying to find good pieces or improve the pieces for artifacts of your existing characters, then this is very important. You don't want to use too much resources and too much Mora on this process. So let's continue leveling up the artifact. I hit HP once, so this is the first bad roll. One more time I hit HP, I am gonna stop leveling up this artifact. I hit EM, not too bad of a roll. Let's continue leveling up the artifact and see what we'll get. So here we hit HP again. So by the book and by the rule, we stop leveling up this artifact. But if you really need this piece for a character, for example, you're building a character right now and you really need the glad piece, you can go ahead and continue leveling it up. However, for me, I don't really need this so desperately, so I'm gonna stop. Or this is a good example for when to stop rolling, because this is not good at all. So how can you tell whether a piece is a god piece, a good piece, or not? So basically, a good piece will have at least 30% CV, so that will be a decent piece. A very good piece will be 40% CV, and a god piece will have 50% CV. For info, I have never gotten a single god piece before. To calculate CV, and what I mean by CV means crit value. To calculate it, it will be crit damage plus 2 times of crit rate. So for example, this one, I have 2.7% crit rate, so that amounts to 5.4% crit value plus a 27, so we get around 33% crit value. So that's considered a good piece. So similar to this other piece right here, it's a pretty good piece. It has 21% crit rate to crit value, and 21 plus 15, you get 36% crit value overall. So this is also considered a very good piece. So what's not considered a good piece by surprise is, for example, this Tartaglia one is actually not even that good, because remember, the calculation for crit value is crit damage plus 2 times the crit rate. In this case, we don't have crit rate, so we'll just be using crit value, and we only have 20%. So that's not even a decent piece. Obviously, on paper, it looks really good. However, for hardcore min-max players, this is not good at all. Finally, the last step, once you level up artifacts already and you want to determine whether the artifact is good for a certain character, you can come over to the character itself, and there will be a compare button once you click an artifact. For example, you ask yourself, is this worth it? You're just going to press compare, and boom, you can see the stats side by side. You can't only take the stats into account, you have to take the set bonus into account, because if you change, for example, I swap from Echoes to Gladiator, I'm gonna lose the 2-piece set, so I don't want to do that. So there's some things you have to consider as well. But for example, in this case, I wouldn't want to convert to this one. Let's just assume that the set is the same and that this is also an Echoes offering. I wouldn't want to convert. Reason why is I'm losing crit damage, I'm losing crit rate, and I get more attack, but it's not worth it at all. So this is one way to find out whether the artifact is good or not. Another way is you're going to come over here, press details, press fast equip, and you're going to press Kaching. Basically, this system helps you to track what you're gaining and what you're losing. So in this one, I gain HP, I gain ER, but I lose all the more important stats for Kaching. So that just tells me that I shouldn't be using this artifact. On top of that, I also lose the stat bonus. So this is a very interesting way of comparing artifacts. To get to this page, you just click the artifact, you press details, you press fast equip, and you can click any character you want. The only downside is you don't know what artifacts you're equipping your character right now. Use this with precaution. For example, you don't want to do the math, etc. You can come over here if you already know what artifacts you're running. But however, I think it's still better to go to the character page itself because you can see all the other artifacts and the current set bonuses you're equipping with your character. And basically that wraps up the end of this video. I don't really have much else to talk about, and it really comes down to all the substats that you need for a character. I'm not going to be going through every single character and their substats. You just need to make sure you're using the correct artifacts and leveling up the artifact with the correct substat for your specific character. One last bonus tip is you just have to get lucky. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you really like this video, do leave a like. It tells me I should do more of this. Subscribe for more of this in the future, and also comment down below what kind of Genshin video I should do next. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.